Okay, once again, I wish you to all very good morning. Today, we'll discuss about development of embryo. Development of embryo, how formation of embryo take place. You see, zygote, in zygote, repeated division take place. When repeated division take place in the zygote, then it form embryo. It means you can say formation of embryo from zygote is known as embryogenesis. Again, I am repeating this point. Formation of embryo from zygote through repeated division is called embryogenesis. Embryogenesis means embryogenesis. Genesis means synthesis or formation. Embryo means embryo. Then you can say formation of embryo from zygote is known as embryogenesis. Then when formation of this embryo take place, then it will develop into one cotyledon. One cotyledon and second two cotyledon. One cotyledon in case of the monocot embryo, or in case of the monocotyledonous plants, that means in monocotyledonous plants, monocot embryo form. And in case of the two cotyledons, these two cotyledons embryo form in dicot plants. That means it form dicot embryo. This is the dicot embryo. Then today we'll discuss about two cotyledons. This one. Second one, two cotyledon embryo will discuss. Then I have made here heading, you see, development of dicot embryo. We are going to discuss about the two cotyledon. Then this is the zygote. This is the zygote. When further in zygote division take place, which kind of division take place in the zygote means unequal division take place in zygote. It means when unequal division take place in case of the zygote, it form two cells. It form two cells. Upper cell is the smaller cell and lower is the larger cell. And smaller cell is known as terminal cell. I have written here. Smaller cell is known as terminal cell or embryonal cell. Embryonal cell. Terminal cell is also known as embryonal cell. And this larger cell is known as basal cell or suspensor cell. Again, I am repeating. Upper smaller cell is known as terminal cell or embryonal cell, and this lower larger cell you can say it is known as basal cell or suspensor cell. Now, what happened? This basal cells transferally divides. Transfer longitudinal division already we have discussed. Means this basal cell or suspensor cell, you can say transferally divide like this. This is the transfer division. When it will transferally divide, you see this group of cells, it forms a group of cells, and this group of cells is known as suspensor cells. Again I am repeating, when in basal cell or suspensor cell transfer division take place, then it forms a group of cells, and this group of cells is known as suspensor cell. I hope it is clear. Suspensor cells. And above the, in this group, suspensor cell, above cells of suspensor cells is known as hypophysis. You see, above cells are cells present above the suspensors, or you can say among the suspensors, above two cells act as hypophysis. And below the suspensor, these cells we are discussing about the suspensor cell. These are the suspensor cell. Above two cells act as the hypophysis. This is suspensor cells. Above two cells act as a hypophysis, and last cells are, you can say, below these suspensors. These cells absorb the nutrients and it swells. It means increase the size and act as hostorial cells. Hostorial cell. It increase the size and act as a hostorial cells. Now, what happens? And this suspensor cells, or you can say hypophysis and hostorial cells, formed by this basal or suspensor cell. It means, again I am repeating, when this transfer division take place in basal cells or suspensor cells, then it will form a group of cells, and this group of cells is known as suspensor cell. And in suspensor cells, about two cells act as a hypophysis, and last cells means becomes larger and act as a hostorial cells. This is the hostorial cells. These two are the hypophysis. Then what's about these terminal cells or embryonal cells? In terminal cells or embryonal cells, transfer longitudinal both division take place. Both division take place in terminal or embryonal cells. How both division take place? You see, one times if it will divide like this, this is the terminal. This is the transfer divisions, and if it will divide like this is the longitudinal division. Then you can say, in case of terminals or embryonal cell, two division take place. One is the transfer division and second is the longitudinal division. If one times one division take place, you see, then it form four cells. But if and then again it will divide, then it will form the again four cells. It means, you see, this is the one divisions and this is the another divisions. 1, 2, 3, 4. If it will divide one times, that means it will form four cells. And 1, 2, 3, 4. It means 8 cells toward the peripheral, and in center means 4 cells. Total 8 cells toward the peripheral, and inside means 4 cells. Total number of cells formed by the transfer and longitudinal division, that is the 8 cells. That's why I have mentioned here octant. 8 cells. That's why I have mentioned here the octants. And these are the suspensor cells. You can say 6 to 10 cells. 6 to 10 cells. These are the suspensor cells. Again I am repeating, this is suspensor cells formed by the division of this basal cells, and these octants are formed by division of terminal or embryonal cell. In case of the basal cells or suspensor cells, transfer division take place, and in case of the terminal or embryonal, both longitudinal and transfer both division take place, and it forms 8 cells, and 8 cells is known as octants. Listen here, very important questions. Above 2 cells, you see here, above 2 cells, this one above 2 cells, and this is the below 2 cells, and these two and these two means above 4 cells. Above 4 cells, okay. Listen, above these 4 cells means 1, 2, 3, 4. These above 4 cells are written upper 4 cells. These upper 4 cells form epibasal cells. This upper 1, 2, 3, 4. These upper 4 cells form epibasals, and epibasal cells form cotyledon and plumule. Upper 4 cells form epivesical cells, and these epivesical cells form cotyledon or pleurules. You see, let's see this diagram. I have mentioned here all the points. Listen, this is the diagram of the germinating seeds. I have mentioned these structures. These points represent to the pleurules. These points represent to the pleurules, and this one represent to the radicals. And these are the two cotyledons. And above this one, that is the epicotyl. Here mentioned. This region is referred to the epicotyl, and below this embryonal node, this is the embryonal node. Below the embryonal node, this is the hypocotyl. And this one represents to the embryonal node, and below the embryonal node, this region is known as the radicle, and below the radicle, this is the root type. Again, I am repeating this point. This is the very important. This germinated seeds, upper portions represent to the pleurules, and lower represent to the radicals, and below the radical, this is the root guides. And in between, you see this axis, embryonal axis, represent to the embryonal nodes, and above the embryonal node, this region is known as epicotyl, and below the embryonal node, this is the embryonal node, below the embryonal node, this region represent to the hypocortex. Then I have told you, above these four cells, upper four cells form epivesical cells, and these epivesical cells form cotyledon or pleurules. Listen very carefully. This plumule, formation of the plumule takes place from above these four cells. It means this plumule, so how formation of the plumule takes place? From the above these four cells, and formation of this radical takes place below four cells present. These four cells, 1, 2, 3, 4, form the radicals. As you know that plumule responsible for the shoot and radical responsible for the root. It means formation of plumule take place these four cells, and these four cells form the radicals. I have mentioned here lower four cells, 1, 2, 3, 4. Lower four cells form the hypovesical cells. It means these lower four cells form hypovesical cells, and these hypovesical cells form hypocotyledon and radicals. This is the hypocotyledons, this region, hypocotyledon, and this is the radicals. It means these four cells form hypocotyledon and radicals. But what's about this root curve? This is the root curve. Root curve, if this radical and plumule both are formed by the upper and lower cell, then you can ask the question, sir, how formation of root curve take place? Listen, this is the exceptional cases. Formation of this root curve take place from the hypophysis. You see, this is the hypophysis. All the points I have mentioned very clearly. This is the hypophysis. This hypophysis responsible to formation of root curve. Formation of root curve. I have mentioned here hypophysis. It forms root curve. It means it is clear these octative structures above four cells form the pleurules and lower four cells form the radicals, and these two hypophysis cells form the root curve. Then what's about this suspensor cells? This suspensor cell push to the embryo toward the zygote. Toward the endosperm, not zygote. Again, I am repeating. What is the function of this suspensor cell? These suspensor cells push embryo toward the endosperms, and endosperms provide nutrients, or you can say embryo get nutrient from the endosperm. That's why this suspensor cell push embryo toward the endosperm. This is the role of hypophysis and suspension. Now, I have written here PCD. PCD means periclinal division. When this periclinal division takes place in these cells, then it forms, you see, a globular structures. A globular structure, it means these peripheral cells also divides. Then I have mentioned here PCD. PCD means periclinal division. When periclinal division take place, then it form periclinal means division take place from peripheral to the center. These are the peripheral cells. You see, this in peripheral region also division take place. Then this cells represent to the hypophysis, and this is the haustorial cells. These large cells represent to the haustorial cells or haustorium. Both are the correct. Haustorium or haustorial cells. And these structures look like as a globe. That's why I have mentioned here globular shaped embryo. Now sort of globular shaped embryo. Then this globular shaped embryo converted into, you see, heart shaped embryo. Heart shaped embryo. You see, this is the structures like the heart. This is the issue. This is structures. This one look like as a heart. That's why I have mentioned here heart shaped embryo. This is the heart shaped embryo. And after the heart shaped embryo, it formed horseshoe shaped embryo. All the points mentioned in the NCERT. Horseshoe shaped embryo. Horseshoe shaped embryo. This one diagram is visible. Tell me first, it is visible or not? Horse shaped.
Yes, sir.
Horseshoe shaped embryo. Yes, sir. Okay, good. Horseshoe shaped embryo. You see, this is the horseshoe shaped embryo. Horseshoe shaped embryo, and this lower portion of the horseshoe shaped embryo represent to the root cape. And above the root cavity, this is the radicals. As you know that radical is responsible for formation of root, and tenule is responsible for formation of shoot. That means this is the root cape and this is the radicals. Above the radicals, this is the hypocotyl region, and above this represent to the plumule. This represent to the plumule, and plumule is responsible for the formation of shoot. And these are the 1 and 2 cotyledons. I have mentioned 2 cotyledons. 2 cotyledons. This is the horseshoe shaped structures. And in NCERT it is mentioned a typical diploid embryo. In your NCERT, same structures mentioned typical diploid embryo. This is the overall explanation about development of diploid embryo. Now we are going to discuss about the development of monocot embryo. Monocot embryo. We have discussed about the zygote. Formation of zygote take place by fusion of male and female gamete. That process is known as synegamy. Again I am repeating. Fusion of male and female gamete is known as synegamy, and this zygotes, if you talk about the pleiady of the zygote pleiady of zygote is 2M. When in zygote repeated mitotic division take place, then it form embryo, and formation of embryo from zygote is known as embryogenesis. Again I am repeating, formation of embryo from zygote is known as embryogenesis. Embryo are following 2 types. One is the monocot embryo and second is the dicot embryo. Dicot embryo, already we have discussed in dicot, development of dicot embryo. Now we are discussing about the monocot embryo. This one cotyledons, if one cotyledon, that is the monocot embryo. One cotyledon, that is the monocot embryo. Now you see, this is the structure of zygote. When repeated mitotic division takes place, then it forms 2 cells. Upper cell is the smaller cells and lower cell is the larger cell. Upper cell is known as terminal cells or embryonal cells, and lower cell, larger cell, is the basal cell or suspensor initial cells. Now, in third stage, Out of these two cells, one cells divide and form these three cells. It means out of these two cells, anyone divides and form one terminal cells, one middle cells, and one basal cell. These three cells perform different functions. Now, see what is the functions? These terminal cells form cotyledons, and this middle cell develop into embryo, and this basal cells enlarge. You see, this basal cells enlarge to absorb nutrition. Means this basal cells enlarge to absorb nutrition. Now you see these structures. In previous dicotyledon, we have discussed about the germination of seeds. You see, this is the embryonal axis. Embryonal axis. Tip of the embryonal axis that represent to the plemius, and this one represent to the radicals. This represent to the radicals. In that dicotyledon, I have made two cotyledon, and this represent to the embryonal axis, and in between this region represent to the embryonal node. This much we have discussed in dicot 2. See, these plemiules, this is the upper regions represent to the plemiules, and this lower represent to the radicals, and below the radicals root cap. After that, this is the basal cells. After some time, basal cell disintegrate. Then, now this plemiules responsible for formation of the shoot, and this radical responsible for formation of root. And below this plemiule, this region is known as epicoty, and this is the radicals. Above this radicals, this is space. This region is known as hypocotyls, and formation of this cotyledon take place. You see, now formation of cotyledon take place. This is the cotyledon, means single cotyledon forms. Come on this diagrams. In above portions are tip of the plemiules and tip of the radicals. Formation of sheath take place. Now see on the diagrams. At the tip of plemiules and tip of the radicals, formation of sheath take place. You see, this is the sheath. This is the sheath at the tip of plemiule and at the tip of radicals. At the tip of radicals and plemiules, formation of sheath take place, and at the tip of plemiule, this sheath is known as coleoptile. And at the tip of radicals, this sheath is known as coleorrhiza. These 3 points, coleoptile, coleorrhiza, and one is the cotyledon, later it will convert into the scutellum. These are the 3 very important characteristic features of the monopod embryo. Again I am repeating, coleorrhiza, coleoptile, and scutellum. These are the main unique characteristic feature of monopod embryo. Again I am repeating, how formation of this coleoptile take place. Formation of coleoptile take place from the plemiules. At the tip of plemiule, formation of sheath take place, and this sheath is known as coleoptile. And at the tip of radicals, formation of this sheath take place. It forms the coleorrhiza. Now come on these points. This root shoot apex plus leaf primordia. Leaf primordia means this is the shoot apex, and here the leaf primordia, and this shoot apex plus leaf primordia form coleoptile. This is the very important for the niche. This shoot apex plus leaf primordia form the coleoptile, and this radical plus root. This radical plus root kind form coleorrhiza. This is the radicals, and below this radical, this is the cap-like structure that is known as root cap. This radical and root cap form coleorrhiza. This is the coleorrhiza. And one more important thing, third points. In grass family, cotyledon is known as scutellums. This is the very important points. This Cotyledons, you see I have written here, this cotyledons is known as scutellum in grass family. I have told you, these are the some important facts related to the development of the monocot embryo. Now, come on these diagrams. This one, this is the these regions represent to the endosperms and it's surrounded by layer that is known as aileron layers. Aileron layer that is the protein rich layers. And this one, this region represent to the polypeptide, and this is the plumule, and this is the radicals, and this is the polypeptide. Now, formation of this one take place. Embryo in monocot embryo forms. This is the detailed explanation about development of monocot embryo. Some important points keep in your mind. Three facts I have written here. How formation of polymerization takes place. Shoot apex plus lepromedia from the polypeptide, and radical plus root cap from the polymerization. And in grass family, cotyledon is known as scutellum, and scutellum is the very important characteristic feature of the monocot embryo. And one more thing, secondary cotyledons. Sometimes you see I have mentioned epiblast. This epiblast from the secondary cotyledons. These are the overall explanation about the monocot